made the Quran easy to understand and remember. Then is there any that will receive admonition?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. Class, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillah, last time in around 15 minutes we understood how to form dual. So what is needed? In nominative case, what we need? Ane. In accusative and genitive case, what we need? Aine. So let us see now, when ane in the nominative case and aine in the genitive and accusative cases are added to a singular noun, then it becomes dual. Ma hadani. Hadani qalamani. Hadani kitabani. Hadani kursiyani. Hadani bahrani. Hadani rajulani qasirani. What are these two? M2. These two are pens. These two are books. These two are chairs. These two are seas. These two are short men. Hada plus ane is equal to hadani. These two, M2. Please note. M2 means what? Masculine dual. M2. Ane plus qalam. Qalamane. Two pens. M2. All five nouns in number 1 above are masculine and are in the nominative case. Therefore, they became dual with the addition of ane. The adjective qasirun plus ane is equal to qasirane. Too short. M2. This adjective agrees with the qualifying noun rajulan in number, case, gender, and indefiniteness. And both are dual. Ma hatane. What are these two? Hatane ma'idatane. These two are tables. Hatane bintane. These two are girls. Hatane ghurfatane. These two are rooms. Hatane zahratane. These two are flowers. Hadihi, this F1 changes to the dual hatane. These two F2, feminine dual. Ma'idatun plus ane is equal to ma'idatane, two tables. The ta of femininity remains and ane is added. What are those two M2? Ma dhanika. Dhalika, that M1 becomes dhanika. Those two M2, masculine dual. Ma thanika, what are those two F2, feminine dual? Tilka, that F1, feminine singular, becomes thanika. Those two feminine dual. Alhamdulillah, we are going to start again a very important thing. So far, we have treated sound roots, verbs, indicative, and also we have treated the weak roots, indicative, both in perfect and in imperfect. Now, alhamdulillah, the step which we are going to take is very important. In Arabic, there are 15 derived forms. And what I mean by these derived forms, that they are needed. And again, they are based on this Mr. Fa'ala, radical fa, radical ain, and a radical lam. Certain modifications are done to these three radicals, and once we do these modifications, then we can coin a derived form. And you may well ask, why derived forms? Can't we manage with our sound and weak roots in both in perfect and in imperfect? Well, my answer is no. We certainly need derived forms. And that is the special feature, privilege, characteristic of the Arabic language, because they broaden the horizon of the meaning, and we need to broaden the horizon of the meaning. So that is the principle, one of the principal reasons. There are two important principles before we embark on these derived forms. First and the foremost is all roots do not take all derived forms. There are 15 in the Arabic language. And out of these 15, we are going to treat only up to 10 in this particular course. So the first principle we should address ourselves is what? All roots do not take all derived forms. Which means what? All roots in Arabic do not take all 15 derived forms. Am I right? So, class, please repeat with me. All roots do not take all derived forms. In my style, please. All roots do not take all derived forms. Now, the second principle. Some roots do take some derived forms.
Some roots do take some derived forms.
Very good. So let me repeat now both together. All right? Class, ready? First myself and then you follow. All roots do not take all derived forms. Some roots do take some derived forms. All roots do not take all derived forms. Some roots do take some derived forms. So, alhamdulillah, with these two principles, our task may become easy. Can you avoid derived forms? No, we can't avoid. Why? Because we have to broaden the horizon of the meaning. Because they give variegated meaning. They provide what? Variegated meaning. And they provide wider scope. Wider scope. And then just see that I'll convince you, inshallah. Let me first of all indicate to you the form. That is, let us take derived form 2. And we are going to follow the same color coding for this derived form 2. Our perfect would be fa'ala. Now, what change has occurred?
Shadda.
We have put shadda on radical ayn. Please see that our radical ayn is what? Red, and then shadda is there. So it will become what? Fa'ala. Whenever we change a root, provided that root takes the second derived form. So that is the form of perfect. Fa'ala. Is it difficult? No. We have to place what? Only shadda. And then the imperfect, yufa'ilu. Now here, only change is what? We have to place shadda on radical ayn and place kasra. Yufa'ilu. So, what is so far? Fa'ala yufa'ilu. Please try to maintain this rhythm for all the right form which I am giving you. And experience suggests to me that this particular rhythm helps tremendously students to comprehend derived forms very, very comfortably. No problem. Yufa'ilu. Very good. Now, what we need after that is taf'ilun. This is our VN. Fa'ala, yaf'alu, fi'lun, fa'ilun, maf'ulun in first form. In second form, derived form, it is what? Fa'ala, yufa'ilu, taf'ilun. Now, in the derived form, there is no problem for radical ayn. We must forget that. Once that stencil is there, then it will remain. Fa'ala stencil will work. Fa'ala pattern will work. Then yufa'ilu stencil, yufa'alu pattern will work for imperfect. For all roots which take what? Second derived form. And then taf'il will come on this pattern, on this stencil. Taf'il, that is verbal noun. And then AP. AP is what? Mufa'ilun. That is AP. Now, what addition is there? Mark the addition with mim, mo. And then the shadda of radical ain will carry kasra. And as it is a noun, active participle, so it will carry dhamma tanween. So far, class, with me. Fa'ala yufa'ilu taf'ilun mufa'ilun. AP. And then the PP, only shadda will bear what? Fatha instead of kasra. It will bear mufa'alun. That is our PP, passive participle. So now, with me, please. Fa'ala yufa'ilu taf'ilun mufa'ilun mufa'alun mufa'ilun mufa'alun. Now, our root, alima, very popular root of the Quran, it takes, you see, the second derived form. There are 800 derivation from alima in the Quran. So, if, for example, we had to coin this perfect from alima root, then it will become what? Allama. Please see the radical fa, which is ain. Radical ain is lam. Radical ain carries shadda and fatha on it. So radical ain here, lam, will carry shadda and fatha. Radical lam carries fatha. Radical lam here in this root is mim, so it will carry fatha. Allama. First of all, let us work on the form. Then we come to the change in the meaning, inshallah. So how are we going to make imperfect? Yu'allimu, yufa'ilu, yu'allimu, allama, fa'ala, fa'ala, allama, yufa'ilu, yu'allimu. And then our VN will come on the same pattern. Ta'limun, taf'ilun, ta'limun. Our Mr. Fala is very, very cooperative, isn't it? Because he promised us initially that he will become flexible and he will accommodate us till the end of the course. And alhamdulillah, so far, he fulfilled his promises. Thank you, Mr. Fala. Fine. So, ta'limun, ta'limun. So now, allama, yu'allimu, ta'limun. Alhamdulillah. So let us form what? Our AP. AP. Mu'allimun, mufa'ilun, mu'allimun. And our PP will come mu'allamun. So now let us see our progress so far. Allama, yu'allimu, ta'limun, mu'allimun, mu'allamun. Fa'ala, yufa'ilu, taf'ilun, mufa'ilun, mufa'alun. Allama, yu'allimu, ta'limun, mu'allimun, mu'allamun. Allahu Akbar, mashallah, very good. Please try to identify from these 5 roots, how are we going to identify that this is the second derived form?
Tashdid.
Shadda. Allahu Akbar. Thank you, Dr. Shoaib. Shadda. Shadda on radical ain. All through, except in VN. It is on the pattern of taf'il. Otherwise, all through, radical ain carries what? Shadda. That is the mark of identification. So that we can identify second derived form. With the exception of VN, all forms or 4 pillars, other 4 pillars, except shadda in radical ayn. In radical ayn. Now let us come to the meaning. Alima means what? To know. The derived form too has got causative effect. This is one of the most important significances of second derived form. Now, what I mean by this is that causative effect means what? To cause something to take place. Alima, to know. Now, whatever person he knew, now if he imparts this knowledge to others, that means what he's doing? Causing his knowledge to take into effect. Means to teach, to let others know. Means to teach, isn't it? So now, let us see now. Please, in this meaning, just see. Allama, he taught. Yu'allimu, he teaches or he will teach. Ta'limun, education. Mu'allimun, a teacher. Mu'allamun, taught. Now, are you convinced that the meaning, the horizon of the meaning is broadened? By bringing what? Little changes. In whom? Mr. Fa'ala. In radical ayn. If we bring shadda on radical ayn, is that? And then bring this VN in ta'lim pattern, then alhamdulillah, we have changed the meaning of alima. So it will give now meaning of what? To teach. So, allama, what's meaning, please? He taught. Yu'allimu, he teaches. Ta'alim, education. Mu'allim, a teacher. Mu'allam, taught. Fine. Now, as far as conjugations are concerned, conjugations will remain the same. No change. What? Imperfect. What rhythm we got? At, ta, ti, to. Allama, allamat, allamta, allamti, allamtu. So, give me from this, please. Allama, you see? Allamat, allamta, allamti, allamtu. The same. At, ta, ti, to will follow. No problem whatsoever. And we are aware of that rhythm. And that rhythm will be applied to this second derived form. When we come to this, yu'allimu. Yu'allim. So now, how are you going to call? Allama. Perfect to. Because second derived form. Perfect to. I say, allama. Perfect to, 3M1. Yu'allimu. Imperfect to, 3F1. Ta'limun. VN2. VN2. Ta'lim. Mu'allimun. AP2. So, now yu'allimu, 3M1. Then, tu'allimu, 3F1. Tu'allimu. That is what? Imperfect to, 2M1. Tu'allimu. And then, tu'allimina, imperfect to, 2F1. Imperfect to, because we have to go up to 10. So we'll call them 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And whenever they come in the text, we can solve the problem by using these our terms. And we are not required to waste our time by giving full account. Because nowadays, and for every time, time, space, and energy are very vital and crucial for our success and progress. And then here now we'll say, tu'allimina, perfect to, 2M1. Then u'allimu, perfect to, 1M1 plus F1. Perfect to. And for example, allamtu, it will be what? So imperfect, this is imperfect. You see, u'allimu, imperfect to, 1M1 plus F1. That will be our scheme. And then when we come, for example, ta'alim, what say? VN2. Because we have to differentiate from VN1. So when we come to this second derived form, we call it what? VN2. Mu'allim, what we call? AP2, AP2. Indefinite, M1, masculine singular. And muallam, what are you going to call?
PP2.
PP2. And that is what? M1, masculine singular. Masculine singular. Once again, because this will be our scheme, or even if we have to take a little more time at this stage, I think we are permitted to do so. Because the rest of these derived forms, for each lesson, inshallah, we are going to learn another derived form. So, for example, once the third derived form will come, then we will say what? Perfect 3, 3M1, like that. Perfect 4, 3M1. Perfect 5, 3M, so and so and so forth. Imperfect 1, like that. We'll just go. Imperfect 2, imperfect 3, imperfect 4, imperfect 5, imperfect 6, and so forth. So, I just wanted to get from you how are you going to read, for example, allama. Yes? Allama, perfect 2, 3M1. Yu'allimu.
Imperfect 2, 3M1.
Yes? Read this. Ta'limun. Yes? VN2. Verbal noun 2. Yes? Mu'allim. AP2. Active participle 2. Yes? Mu'allam. PP2. That is passive participle 2. And as we make progress, we'll just increase the number. 3, 4, 5, 6 for all. Now, we have no problem to understand these pillars, have we? Because we have consolidated ourselves in our last 7 lessons, which were closely related to these pillars through graded progression. And alhamdulillah, we are fully aware of the nature of these pillars. And the same pillars, we are transforming them back into what? In our derived forms. So whatever efforts which we have made, we are taking maximum advantage of our previous efforts. Not ruining our time, destroying our time, wasting our time. And this is the reason why class has comfortably understood whenever I presented these 5 pillars to you in derived form 2. Alhamdulillah, walillah alhamd wa shukr. Now, inshallah, we shall continue our second derived form, for which now we have confidence. Confidence of C is penetrating in us. And once we introduce this, then we are trying to see how this derived form enabling us to understand wider meaning. Barakallahu li walakum wal jameel muslimin innahu ta'ala jawadun kareemun malikum barur ra'ufur rahim.
Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim